leave, stay. Yes. A time to fight and a time to pray, a time to leave and a time to stay, when it's need of the hour. And that's what my topic for today is. Time management, need of the hour. Dear fellows, we live in the age of time famine. Then, a time to be happy and a time to be mad. A time to be happy and a time to be mad. A time to be silly and a time to be sad. When it's need of the hour. A time to help and a time to hurt. A time to scheme and a time to dream. When it's need of the hour. Dear fellows, we live in the age of time famine. Life is getting more hectic and we have to run faster and faster and faster just to stay in one place. The demands of the competitive marketplace, they put such a premium on personal productivity that if you are not productive, you are out. The result is a tremendous pressure to perform, coupled with a sense of overwhelming insecurity about future. You see, your day, week, or life may not go exactly according to your thought plan. But with time management, you are guaranteed and far more likely to arrive at your final destination than a person without time management. The University of Chicago conducted a study in which they called 4,000 working executives, asking them if they plan their time. Just 3%. Just 3% of them said they do. As for the rest of 97%, the most frequent responses were the top 3 reasons for not planning time. And the top 3 reasons for not planning time, the way they say, is number 1, well, planning limits my freedom. Number 2, I am too busy. Number 3, and my favorite, I don't have time. Let's consider the third and most frequent excuse for a wife. I do not have time. Think of the person. Think of the most successful person you know. How many hours that person has in a day? 24. Now think of the one who is really struggling. How many hours that person has in a day? 24. Think in between. How many hours everyone have? 24. You get the idea. You see, it's not the amount of time we have that determine our success. It's how we choose to use our time. So mark my word for today. This is the advice for today, that don't count. Don't count. Don't count every hour of the day. Make every hour of the day count. So according to Stephen P. Robbins and Stephen R. Covey, time metrics. Time is divided into 4 quadrants. The first quadrant is of urgent and important. This is where the things which are to be done, they are urgent and important. This is what we call quadrant of demand. The second quadrant, this is where the things are not urgent, but they are important. This is what we call the quadrant of zone. The third quadrant is where things are urgent but not important. Mind it, this is quadrant of illusion. The fourth quadrant is quadrant of escape. This is things are neither urgent nor important. So let's get to, in another perspective, the standing names for the time metrics. The first quadrant, which are high in urgency and high in importance, they are the quadrant of emergencies. The second quadrant, which are low in emergencies, but they are really high in importance, these are called prevention. The third quadrant, where things are low in urgency, low in importance, and high in urgency, these are called the quadrant of crisis. The fourth quadrant, where things are low in urgency and low in importance, these are absolute time wasting. Now let's get to what are the activities involved in these 4 quadrants. The first quadrant's activities include, first of all, crisis. You have to go all of a sudden somewhere. This is an urgent thing. Meeting a critical deadline, getting to an important appointment on time, or going for an interview in time. These are all the quadrant 1 activities which are urgent and important. Quadrant 2 activities are those like preparation, planning, prevention, relationship building, exercise. These are all the quadrant 2 activities. Does include the career development. These are the things which are important, but of course we never take them in urgent, and we don't do that. This is ignored. The third is the quadrant of interaction. The third is called the quadrant of interaction. This is where there are interaction, there are mails. You just go for the necessary mails. Then there are many popular activities. It does include that doing nothing. The fourth quadrant is trivia, going for things which are none of our concern. Listening to the latest office gossip, none of our concern. These are the absolute time wasters, which does include some phone calls, excessive TV games, watching a TV show you are interested in. That is the time waster. Next is the average time wastage. This is the average time wastage ratio of ourselves, and this is for the stuff we place for ourselves. So a person on an average spends 28 minutes a day. 28 minutes a day just looking for the stuff you place for yourself. It does include the files you place on your office table. Secondly, that is nearly 200 minutes a week. That is almost... should we go ahead, please?
Just hang on for a second.
Alright. This is according to the Franklin-Covey leadership study. This is the average business time of a person. So on an average, we spend almost 28 minutes a day just for looking the stuff we have placed ourselves. That is nearly 200 minutes a week, almost 800 minutes a month, and 10,192 minutes a year. Likes. Think about it. Is that what we place our stuff for? Of course not. So this is where Brian Tracy says that why the things that matter most in our life are often hostage to things that matter least, which shouldn't be the case. Next is the 6P formula to cure this. So this 6P formula says proper planning prevents poor performance. So if you plan prior properly, we will be preventing poor performance. So this is where Nancy Friedman says that 10 minutes in organizing save 90 minutes of execution. Next is the spiritual emphasis. While I have, have ordered us to pray 5 times a day, and then in different timings. Why not 51 rakats all of a sudden? This is time management. And then a person who prays in a group, who prays Bajamaat in a group, he is rewarding 27 times more than a person who prays individually. And this is where in Punjabi it is said, Velediyan namaza, tek velediyan takra. And to translate that in English, that is, if you say prayer in time, that is exact a prayer. But if you are not saying prayer on time, that is more like banging your head toward a wall. The next is according to Holy Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Yasin, chapter number 23, verse number 40. لِلشَّمْسُ يَنْبَغِي لَهَا أَنْ تُدْرِكَ الْقَمْرِ. It's not for the sun that it might catch moon. وَلَلَّيْلُ سَابِقُ النَّهَارِ. Nor the night may supersede the day. وَكُلٌّ فِي فَلَكٍ يَسْبَحُونَ. And each of is flowing in an orbit. In another place in Surah Muzammil, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, there is Surah Muzammil, chapter number 29, and verse number 20. وَاللَّهُ يُقَدِّرُ اللَّيْلَ وَالنَّهَارِ. And of course, Allah has determined the time for day and night. So, let's get to what this time is. Dear fellows, this time is quick. Time is fast. Time is now, and time is fast.